Warm greetings, dear listener. Imagine a text so brief that it could be recited in minutes, yet so vast in wisdom that it has calmed the hearts of millions for over 1,000 years. Imagine a scripture of only 260 words that has traveled across cultures, languages, and generations, bringing comfort in grief, clarity in confusion, and courage in despair. That scripture is the Heart Sutra. Why does the Heart Sutra, so short and simple, carry such immense weight? Why do monks in mountain monasteries, lay people in busy cities, and seekers across continents turn to this compact scripture for solace? The answer lies not in the number of words, but in the depth of insight they reveal. The Heart Sutra is not a doctrine to memorize, but a mirror to reflect our own heart. Story of healing. There was once a woman who had lost her child. Her grief was overwhelming. You wandered from temple to temple, asking priests and monks to help her find peace. Some offered rituals, some spoke of fate, but nothing touched her sorrow. One day, she met an old monk who simply handed her a slip of paper with the words of the Heart Sutra. At first she resisted. How could so few words ease her pain? But the monk encouraged her. Pray these words not with your mind, but with your heart. As she began to chant, slowly and softly, something shifted. Words did not erase her grief, but they opened space within it. She felt as if the weight of our suffering was no longer crushing her alone. For the first time in months, she breathed freely. Later she said, it was as though those 260 words carried me across a river from despair to acceptance. The essence of emptiness. The central teaching of the Heart Sutra is form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. These words are often misunderstood. To many, emptiness sounds like nihilism, as if life has no meaning. But in Buddhist wisdom, emptiness does not mean nothingness. It means freedom from clinging. Everything we see, our bodies, our possessions, our relationships is impermanent, arise, change, and pass away. When we cling to them as fixed, we suffer. Emptiness reminds us that nothing is fixed. Life is fluid, ever-changing. To realize emptiness is to release the desperate grip of attachment and to flow with life's current. This is why the grieving mother found peace. She realized her child's form was gone, but love itself was not. The bond had shifted, but it had not vanished. Emptiness did not take away her child. It freed her from clinging to what could not return. Wisdom for modern times. In our modern lives, suffering takes many forms. For some, it is the grief of losing loved ones. For others, it is the anxiety of constant comparison, the exhaustion of endless work, the loneliness of feeling unseen. The Heart Sutra speaks to all of these. Form is emptiness, reminds us that appearances deceive. The wealth we envy may hide misery. The beauty we chase may vanish overnight. The success we crave may collapse tomorrow. When we recognize this impermanence, we loosen the grip of desire. Emptiness is form, reminds us that emptiness is not despair, it is potential. Just as a blank page can become a poem, emptiness allows new beginnings. Just as a quiet mind gives rise to creativity, emptiness makes space for renewal. Practice for daily life. How can we bring the Heart Sutra into daily living? Not everyone will sit in a monastery chanting scriptures, but everyone can practice emptiness. When anger rises, pause and ask, what am I clinging to? When sadness lingers, whisper, this too will change. When joy comes, breathe deeply and say, may I enjoy this without fear of losing it. In this way, emptiness becomes not a philosophy, but a practice. The depth of 260 words. Some ask, how can so few words hold so much wisdom? The answer is that brevity sharpens focus. The Heart Sutra is like a diamond, small but unbreakable, reflecting infinite light. Each word is a doorway, each phrase a mirror. Scholars have written volumes about the Heart Sutra, yet its essence can be felt even by a child reciting it for the first time. Its power lies not in intellectual analysis, but in direct experience. Chant it aloud, and you will feel its rhythm calming the mind. Sit with it in silence, and you will sense its wisdom unfolding like a lotus. Reflection for you. Dear listener, perhaps you too carry burdens, loss, stress, fear, or longing, or that you are not alone. The Heart Sutra has been carried across centuries by countless hearts who also struggled, wept, and hoped. Its words are not commands, but companions. You do not need to become a mind to feel its power. Simply repeat the words softly, with sincerity, and allow them to echo inside. It will not erase your pain, but they will teach you to hold it differently, and in that shift, you may find peace. When we speak of the Heart Sutra, we are not only speaking of philosophy, we are speaking of survival, of how a human being can stand within the storms of life without being shattered. The brevity of the text is its gift. Because it is so short, it can be carried in memory, whispered in silence, and practiced in moments of great turmoil. The sutra as a companion in suffering. Think of someone standing at the bedside of a dying parent. Words fail, advice fails, but a simple chant of the Heart Sutra provides a rhythm for the breath, a frame for the silence, and a bridge between despair and acceptance. Or think of a student overwhelmed by failure, convinced they are worthless. Reading the phrase "form is emptiness" reminds them that grades, though important, are not identity. They change, they pass, they do not define the soul. For a widow in grief, the sutra does not remove pain, but it whispers you are not alone in your suffering. Others have walked this road and found light. The Heart Sutra is not a theory, it is a companion. The power of emptiness misunderstood. In modern times, many misunderstand the teaching of emptiness. They think it means detachment without care, indifference, or coldness. But emptiness is not the absence of life, it is the condition that allows love to flourish. When we cling to someone, we bind them. We say, "You must stay, you must be mine, you must never change." That is not love, it is possession. But emptiness frees us to say, "I cherish you as you are, even as you change, even if you must leave." A parent practicing emptiness does not cling to their child's youth. They love them through growth, even when the child leaves home. A partner practicing emptiness does not demand eternal sameness. They love the person as they evolve. Emptiness is not lovelessness, it is fearless life. A Heart Sutra in the modern world. Let us consider how the wisdom of the Heart Sutra applies to modern challenges. In a world of social media, we are bombarded with images of perfection. Formed as emptiness reminds us that what we see is not the whole truth. Behind the smiles may be loneliness. Behind wealth may be insecurity. So remember, emptiness is to free ourselves from envy and comparison. In a culture of overwork, we equate identity with productivity. But form is emptiness reminds us that jobs, titles, and salaries are not our essence. They shift and change, but our being remains deeper. In relationships, emptiness is form teaches us that endings are not only losses, but also beginnings. Divorce, breakups, or farewells are painful, yet they open doors to new chapters. Practical exercises from the Heart Sutra. How can we live this wisdom daily? The breath of emptiness. When overwhelmed, close your eyes and repeat silently, "Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form." As you breathe, imagine each thought dissolving into space. The Journal of Impermanence. Each evening, write one thing that changed today: the conversation, a mood, a moment. This practice reminds you that nothing is fixed and teaches gentle acceptance. The gift of release. Choose one object you no longer need: a piece of clothing, a gadget, a bike. Give it away freely, saying, "Form is emptiness." This ritual helps loosen attachment. Compassionate listening. When someone speaks in anger, instead of reacting, silently recall this anger to as emptiness. Their pain will pass. Your patience is the gift of emptiness. These practices make the Heart Sutra not just a scripture, but a way of life. Stories of transformation. Mine once faced bankruptcy. His company collapsed, his reputation suffered, and his friends left him. At first, he despaired, believing his life was over. But through the Heart Sutra, he learned that his career was form, and form is emptiness. Losing it did not mean losing his worth. Slowly, he rebuilt, not the same business, but a life with new meaning. Woman abandoned by her partner fell into grief. She recited the sutra daily, and one phrase healed our heart's emptiness is form. The ending of her relationship was also the beginning of our freedom. Years later, she said, the Heart Sutra did not take away my loneliness, but it gave me the courage to walk through it. A ripple effect. The practice of emptiness does not only transform individuals, it transforms communities. In families, it reduces conflict. Parents who accept impermanence allow children to grow freely. Partners who accept change allow each other space to evolve. In workplaces, it reduces stress. Teams who practice non-attachment to outcomes work with creativity instead of fear. Leaders who embrace impermanence lead with humility. In societies, it builds compassion. When citizens recognize the impermanence of wealth, power, and privilege, they treat each other with greater empathy. Deeper reflection. Dear listener, what is it you are clinging to right now? Perhaps it is a memory of a happier time. Perhaps it is a dream of recognition. Perhaps it is a fear of losing someone you love. A Heart Sutra does not ask you to throw these away. It invites you to hold them lightly, knowing they will change. This is not to make you careless, but to make you free. When you hold life gently, you can embrace its beauty without being broken by its changes. The 260 words of the Heart Sutra are not simply a text, they are a light. Carry it, and every shadow becomes less frightening. Thank you for watching this video. If this message has touched you, please like, subscribe, comment, and share, so that others too may walk with the light of the Heart Sutra in their daily lives.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.